Thank you so much. I am Brooklyn Borough President Eric Adams, and we wrap ourselves around the people of St. Vincent. As I wrap this flag around me, it is symbolic of Brooklyn and New York. Both have the largest number of St. Vincent members here in America. And we feel their pain today as we are watching a volcano eruption that is causing devastation to the entire country and the island. And I'm joined here today by Howie Prince, the Consul General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and former director of the National Emergency Management Organization. He knows so well about these types of natural disasters, and we will hear from him in a moment, as well as representatives from the Universal Medical Mission President and other Caribbean leaders that have joined us. As we know, on Friday, Soufrière erupted, a volcano on the Caribbean island of St. Vincent. Another eruption followed today. Local officials have reported that 16,000 people living in the red zone are under mandatory evacuations orders. This is extremely concerning for those who have not communicated with their family members and loved ones. Those living in the red zones says the loud rumblings from the eruptions have been deafening, and the island is completely plunged into darkness. An organization on the ground reported that as of Sunday morning, the majority of the country is out of power and covered in ash. You can only imagine how devastating that is during even the day hours, to be in the midst of darkness from the ash. The extent of the damage from the eruptions are still unknown, but it may be worse than the last eruption in 1979. There is also limited access to water since the sources are contaminated from the ashes. We have a vibrant community of Caribbean Brooklynites, including many people from St. Vincent, and the largest population are here in the borough of Brooklyn and throughout this area. We will hear today about organizations that are already providing relief efforts for 5,000 evacuees during this challenging time. And when you add on the fact that COVID is complicating the evacuation process because of the vaccinations, it brings a higher level of concerns for many of us. So we are asking Brooklynites to step up to help the people of St. Vincent during this time, and we believe it's important that we listen to the leadership here because they know exactly what is needed. We don't want a disjointed operation. We want a well-coordinated operation. And by communicating with the Consul General's office, as well as the on-the-ground organizations, we can ensure that the men and women of St. Vincent will receive the necessary support that they need, but also to ensure the communications with those who are living here in America, New York City, and in the borough of Brooklyn. So at this time, I want to call up the Consul General of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Consul General Howie Prince.
Thank you very much, Honorable Eric Adams. We are most grateful for this opportunity that you have given us to meet with you, to meet with other officials from Brooklyn, from the New York City and New York State. As I speak, we also had discussions with Councilwoman Yvette Clark, who is also involving the assistance of Councilman Jeffries in this effort. St. Vincent and the Grenadines is a small, idyllic country nested in the Caribbean, just 100 miles to the west of Barbados, 21 miles away from St. Lucia, and 68 miles from Grenada. So that's where we are. 150 square miles, 107,000 people. Small, but we are one of the most sought after tourist destinations by people coming from North America, Europe, and other places. An idyllic place for vacation. Today and over the last few days, however, this really pristine vacation site has been thrown into virtual darkness by the eruption of Soufrière volcano. What you heard, the description that you heard from Eric Adams is very apt. 16,000 people having to be evacuated, 20,000 or more impacted. In fact, the entire island of St. Vincent, which is the larger island of 133 square miles, is impacted by the ash fall. Ash as thick and as bad as when it snows in New York. In fact, it has been described, looking at the white surfaces that you're seeing, as a winter wonderland. But it's not winter, it's ash. And that's as bad as it gets. Ash is really dangerous for people's breathing, for our water system, for our agricultural system, and it's bad on a number of fronts because it has affected our electrical systems as well. We are grateful for the opportunity to be able to coordinate the efforts for donations and going to our country. With me today are organizations here in New York. We have St. Vincent and the Grenadines Relief Inc., which is the organization that is doing the bulk of the coordination in these United States, backed up by St. Vincent SVG DRIP, a media platform that is assisting to spread the word and to get people's donation going. We also are working with an organization based in New York, but that with membership throughout the United States, called COSAGO, Council of Organizations, St. Vincent and the Grenadines organizations here in the United States. And together, we are the official arm for mobilization of relief to St. Vincent and the Grenadines. So we are asking persons who wish to donate to please come through the consulate. If you wish to have our number, you can find it online, but it is 212-687-4490. 212-687-4490. When we were informed that our friends from Borough Hall and our good friend, Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, wishes to help, we said, well, we're going to ask for what we think is the best that we can ask for at this time. So we are boldly asking, through your good effort, for the coordination of a military plane filled with supplies heading to St. Vincent in the shortest possible time. Water is of great demand. We require at least 110,000 cases of water to augment the supply that we have, bottled water that is, for the next 30 days. Food supply, non-perishable goods, is also in great demand. We need bedding materials, cots, at least 10,000 or more. We need blankets, mattresses, water bottles, the general list of emergency supplies that people would require when they are displaced. Because remember, people have had to be moved from their comfort zones to shelters. Most of the shelters are public buildings. So the amenities that they had, they were not able to take with them. And now the state has the responsibility for providing food, shelter, and all other commodities for these people. So we're very grateful for this opportunity to speak with our brother, Eric Adams, our sister, Yvette Clarke, and others. And we say to you, if you are able to spring this for us, to organize this for us, to begin with, we're not saying that that should be the extent of your donation, but begin with one military plane filled with supplies headed to St. Vincent in the shortest possible time, water, food, other supplies that would be useful. We'll be very grateful. I'd like to thank you for this opportunity, and I'd like to introduce one other member of our team who would maybe say a few words. This is the president of the SVG Relief Inc. Her name is Ms. Vorna Arthur. I'd let her say a few words and then I'll come back for a couple of words myself.
V-E-R-N-A. No, not really. That's it. On behalf of SVG Relief Inc., I want to thank our Borough President Eric Adams and Congresswoman Yvette Clarke for their tremendous support. We know we can count on you. We actually are so happy and feeling so proud that you're here to our assistance. I know our council member had mentioned some of the items that we are asking for donations. So I just want to give you the address where persons can actually drop off their donations on Saturday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. and also on Sunday from 10 a.m. to 10 p.m. And it's at Friends of Crown Heights Educational Center, and that's 671 Prospect Place between Bedford and Franklin Avenues. Again, Borough President and the Congresswoman Yvette Clarke, we want to thank them both for this support, and we do look forward to things. And starting next Saturday, that's when the donation relief comes in, and that's on April 17th. Thank you so much.
Yeah, and I just want to add to that, throughout the week, if anyone wants to drop anything off to Borough Hall, and we would transport it over to Friends of Crown Heights on Saturday and Sunday. But throughout the week, we're asking anyone in the downtown area, you could store it at Borough Hall, and we'll make sure it's delivered on Saturday and Sunday. But this is an easy transportation area. Anyone that's in the downtown area, you can drop off your supplies here as well.
Thank you. And finally, Brother Adams, please use your good office to introduce us and escalate this upwards to the governor of New York so that we can also have a conversation with him in relation to how the good state of New York might be able to help the people of St Vincent and the Grenadines. I'd also like at this point in time to introduce Shanita Scotland, a registered nurse from the organization Medical Professionals on a Mission, who has been supporting us and who has a short statement to make at this point in time.
Good morning, everyone. As the chair and co-founder of Medical Professionals on a Mission, we were actually organized after Hurricane Maria devastated Dominica to help the Caribbean. With that, we've helped St Vincent prior. We've also worked with Bahamas, and now it's St Vincent again with the eruption. Our sponsor, Direct Relief, have already organized 8 to 10 pallets of medical donations that will be co-signed to the Organization of Eastern Caribbean States in St. Lucia because the airport in St. Vincent is presently closed. So we'll be shipping the medical supplies and medications to St. Lucia and getting them over to St. Vincent. Among the supplies, we have N95 masks, respiratory medications, burn creams, hygiene kits, cots, first aid kits. We also have N95 masks that are equipped for inhalation of volcanic ash. In addition, we are assisting the Barbados Defense Force because they are equipped with, they are equipped to go over to assist, and also they are close to go over to assist St. Vincent. Direct Relief is also supplying fire kits and emergency backpacks to PAHO to get emergency personnel within the Caribbean well equipped to assist our people. We are asking in New York that you ensure that when you do the donations of food and water, adult diapers for our elderly patients. We also have a lot of disabled people displaced. When you are thinking of supplies, think medical, because it's going to be long-term, a long-term impact with this volcano. We are also asking that you coordinate with the St. Vincent Consulate Office If you want to make monetary donations, coordinate with them as well, because at present we have many needs. With 16,000 people to be evacuated, we're also looking at assisting other Caribbean countries who will be open up their doors to take in evacuees if we get to that point. But at present, our primary goal is to get the respiratory mask on the ground and get goggles as well, because we know that the volcanic ash is toxic. So we want to protect the people. Those in the shelters need the food and water, the cots, the blankets, but we also have to think medical. And this is why Medical Professionals on a Mission is here today, to ensure that the medical needs of our sister island is taken care of. Thank you.
And I just really want to thank Nurse Shanita because, and it's really representative of why it's important for New Yorkers to respond. The Caribbean diaspora, made up of nurses and medical professionals, they were on the front line during COVID-19. They were here, and they responded. This one, if you remove, so we should be six feet away. Nurse Shanita and Medical Mission on the Move, during COVID-19, they were here. They responded. And when you look at the hospitals, when you look at the first responders, the population is made up of the Caribbean diaspora. And it is our time now to say to them that just as you were here for us during COVID-19, we must be here for St. Vincent. And these donations and contributions will go a long way because the island is in need, the country is in need right now. And I knew last night when you called me, you were already on the ground doing what was right, connecting us with the Consul General's office, bringing all the organizations together. This is our opportunity to do for the St. Vincent men and women what they did for us during COVID-19. We could assist them at this moment, and so we're asking for the monetary donations to go through the Consul General, and we're asking for the supplies to go to the Friends of Crown Heights on Saturdays and Sundays, and throughout the week you can drop off here at Brooklyn Borough Hall. We would get through this together, but if we don't rally together, we're going to leave those who are here for us to fend for themselves, and that is not who we are as New Yorkers. So again, I want to thank you for what you did during COVID-19 and how you mobilized us again today. Thank you. Any questions for the Consul General?
We would love for them to be able to come to New York, but coming to the United States requires special visa processing, so we don't think that that is very likely. They're more likely to go to Caribbean countries that are nearby: Barbados, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, Antigua, and Dominica. These are our neighboring countries, and they have already indicated that if it is necessary, they will provide accommodation for some of our people. We're grateful too for the services of cruise ships, Carnival Cruise, and what's the other cruise line? Royal Caribbean. They have already provided cruise ships that are already in St. Vincent and Grenadines, ready to move persons to the neighboring islands should that become a requirement. All, every single one. Okay, she would like a few of you, if you'd like to come to say how your relatives are doing and to say thank you. Anybody wants to do that quickly? Your name and spelling?
Atiba Williams, PRO of the SVG Relief Inc. USA. Atiba Williams, PRO of SVG Relief Inc. USA.
Spell it for me.
ATIBA. Williams. Public Relations Officer, SVG Relief Inc. USA. my mother, sisters, brothers, the whole family. Everyone back home is devastated, but they are coping. It's a real great deal for my family and everyone family back home right now. The whole island is covered with ash, and as the CG say, there's no water. At 1 a.m. this morning, the whole entire island was blacked out by the last eruption. The northeast and northwestern side are without power still, but in the south zone, we have created 3 zones in St Vincent and the Grenadines: the red zone, the orange zone, and the green zone. So the folks in the green zone are the most safe right now, but in the orange, in the red and yellow zones, they are heavily affected, and the reds are heavy. This morning we had to evacuate people from the red zone via the Coast Guard this morning with 0 visibility. The visibility right now is about 200 feet, 200 yards by sea and by land. So they're coping, but given the situation, we don't know how long they can cope with the mental state and things, so we're just praying for the health and safety of everyone. No, they're not in a shelter, they're home. But we have, to date now, we have 3,200 people in 73 shelters across St. Vincent. Lavon?
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Laverne McDowell Thompson, and I'm the president of COSAGO, the Council of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Laverne Thompson. And I'm the president of COSAGO, which is the Council of St. Vincent and the Grenadines organization. The Council is an organization where we have many Vincentian organizations under that body, and other organizations in the diaspora. I am from the leeward side of St. Vincent and the Grenadines, from the area of the red zone, right in Châteaubriand, under the La Soufrière. So many of my people, or most of my people, have been evacuated. I had families there who have been evacuated, but thank God that they're safe and they're doing okay. And this morning, just a few minutes ago, I was just looking at some pictures where roofs have been flattened. I guess the weight of the ash. Those who have businesses or small homes, I was just looking at pictures where that has happened. So, people are in dire situations, and we are just calling on everyone. We just really want to thank you guys for really lending a hand and for reaching out to us where we can rally together to help our Vincentian brothers and sisters. Thank you very much.
Consul General, I noticed you you had mentioned about the governor.
About?
The governor of New York State.
Yes.
I want to cover most of those deployments in the Caribbean, either as WLID, WLS report, or Caribbean magazine. The final say is the governor of the state of New York. The Secretary of Defense on the federal level, as the way Congresswoman she comes in. But at the end of the day, the first priority tomorrow is to contact the governor of the state of New York office, because he controls the New York State military that the planes will go down to. In terms of the question, would you say 1979, I was at the Volcano in 79, I covered it. Would you say it was then 1979? And then the second question, before, when those things happened, as I was coming, I was listening to Caribbean radio, and I heard Jamaican radio station, Canadian Friday radio station. I'd ask you how they can relate. So in terms of the organizations here, are you guys appealing to fellow Caribbean organizations? Because let's go pull ourselves. We did a last night. The entire hydroelectricity was cut off because all the ashes are in Grenada, and Barbados airport up to midday today was still closed. So Barbados, Grenada, and a lot of the other islands were affected.
Right. I believe your first question was in relation to
1979.
what the comparison to 1979. from all indication, this eruption is much bigger, much worse. The impact is much more widespread. As I recall, Grenada and the Grenadines didn't receive any ash in the 1979 eruption. But in this one, Kingston, for example, had not received that kind of ashfall that we see now. If you step outside in the streets of Kingston, your foot goes, you can watch your footprints as though you're walking in snow going down the street. That's as big as it gets. And the sound of the rumbling and the explosions are heard much further to the south than they were heard in 1979. So this eruption is much larger. In relation to reaching out to our fellow Caribbean neighbors, we're doing that. We're doing that on many fronts. From the home front, where our Prime Minister has been having discussions with the Prime Ministers and other officials. And here in New York, I have a meeting with the CARICOM Consular Corps. That's all the consuls generals who make up the CARICOM, who are based in New York, will meet with me on Wednesday to discuss how their consulates and how their organizations in the United States may provide assistance to us. So yes, we have always been our neighbor, and we remember that we have reached out to assist other countries in the past. There's an old saying, what goes around comes around. When you make a cast your bread on the waters, we hand it out today to some others, yesterday to some others. Today it's our turn to be saying, well, we need help. And that's how I want to be able to sign off to say St. Vincent and the Grenadines is in a place where we do need assistance. We cannot do this alone. So we're asking all our friends to come to our assistance at this time.
Last question, Carol. Do you have any hope to get a military plane?
Oh yeah, that's a good question.
Yes, we're going to, this afternoon, I'm going to reach out to the governor's office because the governor responded when other countries such as in Dominican Republic and others have experienced any form of a natural disaster like this. I think this is an amazing time to say thank you to our first responders, as I stated, that are made up of the Caribbean diaspora. This is an opportunity to show as New Yorkers that we're going to be there for them, and I'm going to make a call this afternoon to the governor's office.